Welcome to another episode of Building Your Freedom Fun. I am so excited to get into this episode because we're going to be talking about the two different side hustles that I am going to start. My plan with both of the side hustles, what I've learned so far, trying to start these two side hustles up. And I know two side hustles, it is quite a lot when I'm also working a 9 to 5, but I have my reasoning to why I'm starting my second side hustle as well, and I'll do a bit more explanation. Let's get into this podcast. I made a stupid mistake where I accidentally deleted 2 files from this whole podcast episode, which is why there is a sudden change of outfit and lighting in this video and makeup. Obviously, if you're seeing the video version, aesthetically it is pretty upsetting because it's just a drastic scene change, and I'm just redoing this whole part of the video and it's a bit upsetting. I also couldn't be bothered to kind of try and imitate last footage because I'm a bit sick. I'm going to be talking about the first side hustle, which is cozy coloring books. This whole thing is being made and published into Amazon. I know coloring books is not a digital product. I was able to work around it due to publishing it on KDP, basically a print on demand kind of product. I make cozy coloring books similar to Cocoa Wire and Bobby Goods, kind of put my own twist on it. I hand draw all these designs on Procreate, I compile it onto Canva, and then I publish it onto Amazon. As a customer, when you buy from Amazon, they will print it on their end and send the book to you. So this is an example of one of the books that I have created. It is called Bon Bon Spooky Season. It's a spooky coloring book, as you can see, but this is what it looks like. I kind of colored in it already, but this is the beginning of the pages. This format is 8.5 times 8.5 inches, and this is the largest book you can publish onto KDP, and the minimum pages I think is 22 pages. That is what the book looks like. Oh, and it's so cute. It says manufactured by Amazon.com.au in New South Wales, Australia. That's very cute at the very end. This is basically the end result of the side hustle. Creating this side hustle, it does take some time. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is a lot of time and effort because I do have to plan out the coloring pages. I also have to take time to hand draw them. Marketing is also a huge thing as well. Considering now, especially in the KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing marketplace, there is a lot of competition for these kind of cozy coloring books. You need to stand out from the competitors, and to do that is marketing your coloring books. So that is something that I am currently working on and learning. In terms of creating the coloring books, I kind of gotten down the process of it, but I'm still kind of learning the marketing side, the marketing coloring book business. So for this side hustle, my goal is to build a passive income out of it, or just kind of build the business and try and sell the Kindle Direct Publishing, or market enough where I don't have to put as much effort in the long run. A model where I don't have to hold any inventory. I can basically work anywhere. This side hustle gives me an opportunity to be a bit more flexible, and also the goal is just to grow the business. What I've learned so far with this side hustle, I actually learned how fun it is to draw and create like such cute characters. So Bon Bon is actually my uncle's dog, who unfortunately, he was an English bulldog, but he actually passed away I think last year, but he got another dog who he named Bon Bon Jr. Yeah, it was an English bulldog, very cute. That is what the coloring books is named after. This character here kind of looks like Bon Bon. I'll insert a picture, brown markings and stuff. So he is one of the main characters in all the coloring books that I draw. I really want to make main characters in all the coloring books that I draw. I think the newest one that I just released is it's supposed to be a Valentine's themed coloring book, but I actually published it a few months after Valentine's, I couldn't like create the book fast enough. I actually changed the name to Cozy Dates. I'm going to show my iPad, hopefully. This is one of the very cute coloring pages that I drew and colored in for promotion. That is Bonbon. The cat next to it, I named Cookie, and I named the cat after one of my friend's cats. I have published Kindle Direct Publishing in the past, so I kind of know the process of how to create a coloring book, and I will definitely go in more depth on how to create a coloring book in future episodes. When it comes to side hustles, thinking of how to start a side hustle, usually I research by watching YouTube or TikTok videos of people who have done it before. The way I structured the book, one of the artworks is only on one page, so the next page is blank. They count 24 pages as the first page and then next page. Minimum 12 artworks for minimum of 24 pages. That's something to keep in mind when you're first like start out your coloring book business. Very important to also create a cover page. In terms of naming the book, description that you put in KDP, Amazon Publishing, I honestly just ask ChatGPT to write it out for me, and then I usually just edit what ChatGPT writes out for me. That process is very much simplified because that is something that I struggle with the most, is the coming up with the title and then the description of like the product. Like I hate writing product descriptions, especially like from our old like businesses and side hustles. ChatGPT is my friend when it comes to that. ChatGPT can help like suggest give you a lot of ideas, suggest like names, keywords and stuff. So it's my best friend, honestly. What I do want to learn in the future is the marketing aspect, how to market the product, how to get people to buy the book since there's so much competition. So that is the process I'm going to be learning and tweaking, and you guys are going to know what's working and what is not working. And that's the whole point of this podcast, is for me to share the ups and downs journey of building a side hustle. So that is the first side hustle that I'm planning to do. The second side hustle that I'm in the process of building is actually this podcast show. As you guys know, it's called Building the Freedom Fund, and the whole purpose basically of this show is to document the ups and downs of my journey. Hopefully it's all upwards. Like hopefully I don't struggle with this journey, but it's basically documenting the journey of building my freedom fund, like manifesting my dream life, building a fund where I'm able to be free and kind of work on the things I enjoy, to do what I want. You might be in a situation where you have the time and the finances to build your freedom fund. Like the majority of us are working a 9 to 5. Maybe the 9 to 5 is not something that you want to be working in forever, and that's why we are starting side hustles, we're starting businesses on this side. We can build it enough to the point where we can quit our 9 to 5 jobs. For the longest time, I've always been so interested on seeing people's journey on how they grow their businesses, how they grow as a person. I don't really see people document their journey. 5 years ago, this definitely wasn't a thing. People like to show the end journey of when they achieve the things, but they never really document the actual journey, like the struggles. I love watching people or like show the behind the scenes of them living their best life, having a successful business. I just love watching people who are entrepreneurs, have a business, and show like the good and best side of what they've achieved in life. But usually I don't see people document their journey. Well, that used to be the case in the past. I think now, this day and age, I love to content create, as we talked about in the last episode about soul purpose and learning what you enjoy and how that you can turn that into your calling in life. I love to create content. I also learned a bit more about my human design recently. I am a manifestor fire starter, I think, because I'm also a Sagittarius, and a Sagittarius is a fire sign. Manifestors are meant to start something where people are able to join, or they're to inform people about it, which, reflecting on it, I do love to talk about things I'm passionate about. The things I'm passionate about, my words just flow more better, like it just flows better. Actually, like I'm a bit shy. Talking sometimes is a bit hard for me, so we'll see how that goes. Kind of trying to be in tune with what I've learned recently. My soul purpose, what I enjoy, and my human design, and so that is why I want to start this podcast. Like, I just really also want to challenge myself. Speaking is something that I've kind of struggled with in the past. I don't talk a lot, to be honest. This is something that's a bit challenging. I'm kind of trying to challenge myself. Also practicing articulating my words better as well. This is something that I'm also learning. Also like learning about side hustles and how to make money, how to be your own boss is something that I'm very passionate about as well. Also just like learning how to edit and engage the audience better. The goal of this podcast is to basically inform my potential audience about how to build a freedom fund. Hopefully this is something that will grow into something more. I'm not 100% sure how or where this will grow, but we'll just have to wait and see. What I learned so far about starting a podcast is it is definitely not easy. This is something very new to me. I have no prior knowledge of how to start a podcast. Publishing the podcast, I have no clue. I just learned recently that you have to choose a podcast hosting platform to upload your podcast, and then they have this thing called an RSS feed. After that, you will, I think, get a RSS feed or link, and then that should be linking to the publishing platform. So for example, I have a host podcast where I can upload and publish, and then I can link it to like Spotify or to Apple, and then that's where the podcast will actually show and people can watch and see, but it has to be linked to the listening platforms. See, the most confusing part is there's like at least like 10 to 20 different podcast hosting platforms. I have no clue which one to choose because some of them you do have to pay like a monthly fee to able to host a podcast. This is a new thing I'm starting as well. Paying a monthly subscription on something that's relatively new is not something that I'm willing to do without proper research. But I also found that Spotify has its own podcast hosting platform, and to me so far it seems free, but I still have research for that. That platform is so cool. It also allows the option to publish your podcast in a video format. So whatever I post on YouTube, I can also post on Spotify video, and that can also be available in the audio version as well. So if you're someone who loves to watch podcasts or just listen to it, you have both of the options to do so. That is what I've learned so far about creating podcasts. At the time of filming this third episode, I haven't even actually published my first episode yet. I already finished editing the video. I'm thinking of the intro and outro and whether I should film a little trailer at the beginning for my podcast. Also, if I have to edit a bit more transitions so the video looks more nicer. And I'm also thinking of how to turn it into short form content for TikTok and YouTube Reels and Instagram Reels. That is quite a lot of things I have to consider. I am just so excited for these two side hustles. Definitely last week I was feeling a bit stuck in terms of progress of how I want these two side hustles to go, so that is why I'm probably filming this at the moment, just to get things going. Definitely I'm going to be working on trying to publish the podcast in the next week or so. That's all for this episode. I hope I am not rambling. I hope this episode gives you value. It inspires you to also start your own side hustle. If you have any other side hustle, please let me know what side hustles you're thinking of starting down in the comments below. Honestly, have learned in the past so many different side hustles. Possibilities are endless. I maybe can do a future episode of what I've learned. That is the end of the episode.